Following the death of Edward the Confessor on the 5th of January 1066, Harold Godwinson became King of England. However, he was not the only claimant to the throne. In this pod, we'll look at his and 3 other men's claims to the throne: William of Normandy, Harold Hardrada, and Edgar Atheling.
Let's begin with Harold Godwinson. Harold was Edward's brother-in-law and a loyal advisor. By 1066, his family were richer than the king and greatly respected. Harold Godwinson showed respect to those under his authority and care. His actions against his brother Tostig in 1065, in which he helped Morcar take the earldom, had also won him favour. Tostig was a very unpopular leader. Harold also had unrivalled military experience, which gave the other earls a lot of faith in his capability.
Harold's high standing within English society was clearly shown. The Witan, the deciding body, elected him as king within hours of Edward's death. This enabled him to be crowned the following day, a speed which was unusual at the time. In early 1066, he married Edith, the sister of 2 influential earls, the Earl Morcar of Northumbria and Edwin of Mercia.
Harold's claim to the throne has been widely commented upon by historians. Texts and images from the era clearly show a close connection to the king. Many tapestries interpret Edward passing the throne to him, the most famous of these being the Bayeux tapestry. In it, Harold is shown next to the dying king, the king's wife Edith, and the Archbishop of Canterbury. Edward is holding out his hand to Harold, which many have interpreted as him passing over the rule of England. This is surprising, as the Bayeux tapestry was created in the Norman period. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicles also records Edward asking Harold to protect the realm.
In 1066, William was the Duke of Normandy. He was a respected military leader who wanted to extend his power. This made the title of King of England very attractive. He also claimed that Edward had promised him the throne in 1051, and that Harold had been sent to swear fealty or loyalty to this cause during the embassy to Normandy in 1064. However, this claim is only recorded in Norman records. Many have dismissed this as unlikely.
Harold Hardrada was also motivated by prestige, land, and wealth. He had succeeded in conquering Norway and ruled as the country's king. Hardrada was also the grandson of King Canute, who had been King of England as well as Norway and Denmark between 1016 and 1035. He hoped to add to his power base. In an attempt to strengthen his claim, Hardrada referred to an old oath sworn by King Harthacnut of England and King Magnus of Norway. In this oath, they agreed that if they died childless, the other would succeed their throne. This was a very weak claim.
Edgar Atheling was the only claimant with a direct bloodline to Edward the Confessor. Edgar was Edward's great-nephew. However, he was deemed unsuitable by both Edward and the Witan. He was only 14 when Edward died, and would have been vulnerable to exploitation and attack. Lacking the support of leading noblemen and military experience, it would have been unlikely for Edgar to retain the throne for very long.